You seem to still be up there somewhere.
Maybe I am. There are flying saucers.
Supposing they're Martians or something in there.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Weird Wednesday. I'm itsasherz, and this is...
Hi, I'm Johnny Teabags.
Johnny Teabags, thank you so much for joining me this week.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I've been looking forward to this for 2 weeks now.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be... well, I told you I'm kind of nervous. Because I'm not the ultimate authority and knowledge in this situation. So this is unusual for me, but that's okay. I like a challenge. So...
I mean, that's fair. Fair.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, before we dig into this week's topic, how was your weekend?
My weekend was not the best. My grandfather passed away on Saturday, so spent most of it, in mourning and kind of talking to family members and all of that. But also kind of revisited the Blair Witch Project.
I wonder why.
Right, yeah. Man, that movie is just terrible. I remember hating it, and I couldn't place why. And dear God,
I didn't know where this was going to go. The Blair Witch, it's one of those. It's really divisive, right? There's people that absolutely love it, and there's people that just cannot stand it. So I was waiting for the shoe to drop.
I like found footage films, but the first almost 90 minutes is just Gen Xers complaining about being in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's two guys and one girl, and you're surely there's going to be some type of sexual assault that happens, and you're just waiting for it. And I mean, thankfully it doesn't, but almost.
Right. Yeah. No, thankfully. But I mean, if you're going to do sexual assault in the woods, go Evil Dead 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to make it interesting, right?
No, it didn't go there. And like I said, I'm glad it didn't, because they were at one point they're we know we're not going to get out of here. And they still weren't let's just fuck. So good on them for not doing that. But that's probably the most unrealistic part of the whole film. Let's be real.
I mean, legitimately. Yeah.
It is an interesting choice. How old were you when it came out?
I was 13 when it came out.
Oh, okay. Well, did you buy into it at that point?
No, I mean, so I went and saw it, and as all 13-year-olds did, I'm sure, in 1999. And it had been hyped for 4 years. You've been hearing, because it had been circulating or 3 years. It had been circulating the film festivals since 96.
Yeah.
And it's they're going to release it in theaters, and man, so many people were walking out oh, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen. And I'm just did you see Alien?
Fair. It scared the shit out of me, but I was 7 to 8 when it came out.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I was pretty young. And, of course, Sci-Fi had that documentary about it, which I've watched it. It's not a documentary, it's a mockumentary.
Yeah.
I've watched it as an adult, and oh my God, that mockumentary is so bad. It's this is terrible. And people believed it. And then, of course, they had the website, and that was all, hype. And
it was the original viral marketing campaign. It really was.
Super interesting. Yeah, super interesting. But I get what you mean. If it had none of that, most boring movie in the world. I mean,
right.
Nothing happens.
No, literally nothing happens. And, until the end. And then they're they were never found. Oh, okay. Great.
But what happened?
Why?
Yeah. Where'd they go?
Because they got lost in the fucking woods and lost their minds from dehydration. Because as an adult watching it now, it's just oh, so they're just dehydrated as shit.
Take care of themselves.
Right. Losing their minds.
They were drinking and stuff. The first night, of course,
Yeah.
Did you watch the new version? I think it was just called Blair Witch.
I did not.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's not good.
It's yeah. I was gonna say it has it has a legitimately bad Rotten Tomatoes rating. So
Yeah,
I
it
was like,
is.
don't need it.
Well, it shows the witch, and as much as I hate to say like nothing happened to the first one, and then be like, but then they showed the witch, and that just ruined it. I mean, it kind of after so many years, it's too late now. you know, like,
Right.
you just can't go back to that, and of course, she just looks like every horror movie monster ever. She's not special. I wanted to see the weird half horse woman, not
Right.
whatever the
Right.
fuck it was that they made in this other movie.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think the best horror movie I've seen recently, um, in that like low budget uh tier of like horror films, was Hellboy the Crooked Man.
I've never even heard of this.
Oh my goodness. So, you've got the big Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movies, and then you've got the like mid-tier one that they did with oh crap, his name's slipping my mind. David, I want to say, gosh, the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember his fucking name either.
Yeah.
Dustin, not Dustin.
No, Dustin's the kid.
David. No, the actor.
Yeah. Oh, David Harbor. David Harbor. That's his name.
David Harbor.
Yeah.
That sounds correct.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, sounds like somewhat of an exciting weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it was exciting in all the like bad ways of like, oh, I've got to call a bunch of family members and
Yeah, stuff like that is not easy. And gosh, coming off of it, still, I'm sure you're still in that weird, like liminal space. Like, what do I do now? What happens
right.
next?
I mean,
Um,
the only thing I can say to it is, he's not suffering anymore. He started going deaf about 15 years ago and lost some sight in his eyes, but then he kind of went almost completely blind like 5 years ago. And so to be deaf and blind, just trapped in your head, he was ready to go, and that's hard to say, but, he, he let us know, and we were kind of all just like, how do you deal with being,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
So,
I found a really interesting Facebook post today, and it was about somebody who is they're not terminally ill, but they are chronically ill, and
mhm.
they were talking about how there is a program in Sweden that does basically physician assisted suicide,
Right. Yeah.
and that they have been approved for it, and so they're going to travel to Sweden to go do this because of their chronic illness. And it was just really interesting because this is definitely a topic that I'm familiar with. I'm sure everybody that listens to the show is probably vaguely familiar with that concept.
Yeah.
It's very illegal here in the United States. We have very few states that will do it, but even then, it's like getting approved is super difficult. You pretty much have to be like already dead to like for them to do it. But it was really insightful because this person was well enough to talk about what's going through their head and why they want to do it, and different people kind of chimed in on their thing. Their whole issue with it was actually just like ethically they were wondering like what becomes of their body, and because I guess over in Sweden it's everybody's an organ donor, so they donate organs, but they didn't want it to be donated to somebody who was gonna charge an arm and a leg for their organs.
Of course.
So it was more that like that was what they were focused on. They weren't focused on like I'm second guessing this or whatever. I mean, it was just that part of it. Like, is this the way I want to go, or should I look at a different program? And that, like I said, it was wild. I've never seen anybody shopping around for like their own death like that before. It was wild. But it really puts a lot into perspective for you as a person, as far as, if you're grieving, if you've lost someone, and you're trying to kind of grasp that concept as a whole. People genuinely do suffer, and,
Right.
it is kind of their right to decide if they want to continue to do that or not. I mean, fuck,
I mean, yeah, and that's kind of that's my view on it. I know that in Canada, it's at least legal to attempt. Like here, if you attempt suicide, then they lock you up, which is wild to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna make it worse.
Right.
You thought life was bad? Hold on.
We're going to do this thing that makes you lose your job and your opportunities and your means and isolates you from your friends and family. Yeah, I know.
So, yeah. But I wasn't sure if like medically assisted suicide was also legal in Canada or, because it's a gray area in so many countries. But also, if you are thinking about self-harm or anything like that, there are many resources out there for you.
Yes. Yeah, this is not. This is not your green lights. This is not the sign that you were looking for.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
This is a decision that people take years and years and years to make. Not that you have not suffered for years and years and years. Whoever may be thinking about it, but. There's, I don't know, as somebody who's had those ideations before. This is a really heavy episode right out of the gate.
Holy cow. I wasn't planning on it going there, but wow.
It's supposed to be a comedy show, damn it. No, but really, as somebody who's had those thoughts before, if you die, there's never a chance for it to get better. It may not ever get better. I'm just going to be totally real with you. There is a chance that you could go through the rest of this life and this is how you feel. But you know what? You're only here for like 75 to 85 years anyway. Like, you may as well tough it out and just see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as far as we know, you don't get a chance to come back around.
Right. So may as well.
And as far as we know, there's nothing after this.
Right. So, tough it out, make the best you can of it, and keep going,
Yeah.
So anyway, on to my weekends.
Please. Yeah. That's why I wanted to get mine out of the way first. Get the heavy stuff. Let's.
I appreciate it. I went and I hung out with one of my friends this weekend. I did the same thing that I did the weekend before. I went to Huber Heights and looked at their spooky houses. I took her to the Harshmanville Haunt, which is, I said it last weekend, an insane setup in somebody's fucking front yard.
Yeah, no, I was listening to last week's episode and I was definitely on the, like, man, do I drive down to Ohio?
I mean, it's worth it. I'll go with you if you come.
Sure.
It's pretty cool. And so I took her to see that, but like, so I explained like how this works last week. You kind of have a game that you play. And so there's a list of houses that are decorated and they'll have clues on them or whatever. And you need to find the thing and then keep going forward. So we started doing it, but she had never, like, this was her first year ever hearing anything about it. And so I got a little overzealous and I took her to the super awesome house first. So it just made all the other houses really disappointing.
Oh, yeah, no.
I feel like an asshole. And I'm like, man, I mean, I'm still impressed by people's little skeletons and inflatables, but, I get it. I probably should have waited. But if we were going to go to any of them, I didn't know how much time we had. That's the one that I wanted to make sure we had a chance to go to and had plenty of time to explore. So.
And like, I totally understand, as somebody who like worked in like the scare entertainment, like the scare entertainment business, for years in Florida, it's hard to go like show somebody the best thing and then like go to somebody with a giant skeleton from Home Depot.
Right. You're like, I mean, that was cool, but that was cool before I knew about this.
Right.
Yeah. And I just didn't really think that through. But you know, it doesn't matter. We had a good time, so that was good. And I got to watch some things also this weekend. I watched a couple of things. I watched the new Netflix documentary about the BTK killer.
Oh, did that come out? I
It did. It did.
was just talking about how the Ed Gein one was
Oh
horrible.
my god, and it's still horrible. And of course, I already hear you guys talking. I know the Ed Gein one. It's not a documentary. Um,
Fair.
fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna call it the Ed Gein story, they list it as the shockingly true tale of Ed Gein,
Right.
and it's considered a biography
Dear
under
God.
its description. Tell the fucking story the right way. You know, fuck your entertainment purposes bullshit when it comes to real life victims. That's gross.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've bitched about that one enough. Moving on to the BTK documentary.
Yeah, I was going to say, how was the BTK one in comparison?
Thank you. So this one was actually told from the perspective of Dennis Rader's daughter.
Oh, wow.
Because she was, very much an adult when he was captured. And so she, grew up with him as her dad while he's the fucking BTK killer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And, she talks about kind of what her life has become because realistically, I mean, and I'm doing it right now. I don't even remember the poor girl's name. But it doesn't matter because now and forever, she's always going to be BTK's daughter.
Right.
And there's no way to really separate yourself from that. And she says, even meeting new people, it's tough because all they want to talk about is him. And, after he went to prison, like she didn't talk to him anymore. Like she cut ties. He was a
Imagine.
monster.
Yeah.
And but some people don't. Some people do keep up with their, serial killer family members. I mean, look at Lionel Dahmer. He is still kicking it. But I'm just saying, for her and him, it's more about that. Of course, it goes into BTK's history and just kind of who he is and how he got caught and all that. It was actually, I didn't know this. He was caught because of her, but not because of her willingly. It's because she had gone and gotten a pap smear, and the police, the FBI, used her pap smear to match up his DNA.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, it's actually
That's wild.
pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
they were able to do that, but it is very invasive that they were able to do that. And definitely put her in a weird position because it kind of made it seem like she had cooperated with them, and she didn't. She had no knowledge that they were doing this. Well, they had an inkling of what his identity was, and so they were trying to match. They had DNA of the killer, and they were trying to figure out a way to match up that DNA. They found out he had kids. They were trying to find medical records of the kids. I mean, but it is super sneaky bullshit. But
a cab.
right. I mean, but thank God they did, right? Because they caught the BTK killer. I mean, you can't just
Right. Yeah.
roaming around. It's one of those things. But what I find interesting about it is that I have a secret that I've hidden from you guys for a really long time. That's since June of this year. That you don't know. And I've purposefully kept it this way for a while. I'm not completely ready to talk about it, but in June of this year, one of the people in my friend group, not just one of the people in my friend group, one of my exes, okay, within my friend group, had their house swatted.
Oh, ooh.
And they found a body in the backyard.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's a whole confession that goes with it that I have read that is disturbing. So basically, this man has killed somebody, has killed one of his ex-girlfriends. And it's been a lot because
I can't imagine.
Well, and this was a huge story, in my area. It wasn't at first. The girl was missing and nobody really talked about it or talked about her. But somebody like pointed it out to me, and they had mentioned like his name, like her last known residence was with this guy. And I was like, hey, is that this guy? And I'm like, I don't think so, and even if it is,
Oh,
that doesn't mean anything. And then like all of a sudden there's this big standoff going on here in my town, and slowly it's kind of coming out. Well, this is the street that it's on. Well, he happens to live in a cul-de-sac, so it's like now it's like, it could be one of, four houses. Is it the one?
oh,
Oh, by the way, it is. Well, he also has a million people that was living in the house. Is it him? Oh, by the way, it is. It was a lot. And
yeah,
and then just kind of going through the motions of, this was an ex-girlfriend of his, and the things that he just so carelessly was able to do to this girl was shocking. And there was a lot of survivor's guilt of like, my God, how many times have I willingly like let this man consensually choke me out and trusted him with my life?
right.
And it could have been me. He killed her back in like January, and
Oh my goodness.
he'd sent me a message in like April, and it was just like a general like,
Wow.
hey, thinking about you, just want you to know I'm always here for you. At that time he had killed that woman. And if I didn't talk to him, he got really bad into drugs, and I stopped talking to him a couple years ago. And
Hmm.
but if I had been like, hey, how's it going, let's catch up, like I could have been there at the house,
Right.
with her body. Who knows what could have happened, um
Oh,
but it's not just me. Like there's definitely other people in this story that have been affected in a bigger way than I have. Some of the people that I know, like they've known this man since they were kids. And I just, I can't even imagine. So one of them reached out to me, one of the people in the friend group, and we all haven't really talked about it really. I mean, we have to a degree, but I don't think any of us have really sat down and unpacked with each other, because there's some people in the group that are like, oh, I saw it coming, he was terrible. And there's some people that are like, oh, how horrible, I just never thought that this could happen. You know,
it's
it's very divisive.
right. It's
But
always hard, especially like group healing through something like that you just
because we all feel how we
couldn't
feel about
imagine.
it, right?
Yeah.
Depending on our experiences with him as an individual, we all feel the way we feel about it. And and that's how it was. Because like I was grieving, but I was angry, but I was disgusted, but I felt weird that I was still here, and then I felt weird that I even thought that I was special enough to be killed in the first place. I myself had a million and one emotions, and I know everybody else did too.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
and
I have a friend who's been missing for
uh,
2.5 months now, and I'm sadly sure he's probably similarly in some plot of land.
yeah, well, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Hopefully not.
But depending
But
on the day, you go through, you swing back and forth between those emotions, and it's tough.
there are some like indicators of foul play, sadly. And like the cops found his car in a place that it wasn't.
Oh,
That
God.
just so happened to happen. It just so happened to be the day they announced he was missing officially,
Oh, my
like through the
gosh,
media.
yeah. Whew. Yeah.
So but yeah, it's one of those like, oh, we had a lot of the same friends, and who knows
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point.
Well, and like I said, different people will feel differently about it
Yeah.
depending on, how they view that person and how they experience that person. And, but one of the friend group approached me and they said, hey, you know, somebody's eventually going to make a podcast about this. It might as well be you. And
That's fair.
I was like, but I wasn't really ready to have that conversation yet. Just because, like, I mean, again, this is the first time I've publicly said anything about this. And, I just don't know. I think I posted like an article or something about it. I shared one way back when, but I didn't say anything.
Hmm.
And, they're right. I probably am the correct person to do it with. And it really got me to thinking, that I'd love to get everybody and anybody involved in this in some capacity. And I might not do a podcast about it. It might be something a little bit bigger, a little bit more special.
Right. Yeah.
Because as an outsider for the situation, of course, I'm sad for the deceased and her family.
Absolutely.
And, I think that's awful. But what people don't talk about in these cases are the people that left behind. This man had 2 kids and a wife.
Oh.
Yeah. He had all these people, in his life who continuously tried to support him and tried to help him be a better person. And, it's everybody else that's left behind that nobody thinks about. And that's where like kind of this documentary about BTK's daughter, I mean, it really kind of hit home for me with, stuff like that being super fresh. Again, I'm not too comfortable with it, yet, just because, like, legally, it still has to go through the legal system. He's not even charged with murder yet, even though there's bones in his backyard and he has a full confession. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything, I guess. People confess to stuff they didn't do all the time, I suppose. So it's still very much an ongoing investigation, which is mostly why I'm not ready for us to all talk about it. And plus, I think we're all still kind of working through the motions of it.
Yeah. I mean, more important to sit down like with your friends and process everything.
Yeah.
First. Yeah. And then once you've had some time to heal that, come back around, circle back to making a podcast about it.
Well, and the whole point is like, I'm not trying to exploit anybody. I want to give these people a platform to be able to share who they are, what their experience is like. Again, just to get it, from the other side of the situation. So, but I think people would find that. I think you all will find that very interesting once it does happen. So, yeah, so did a little reflection with the BTK killer documentary. Did not expect that.
For sure. Again, really heavy episode.
Really heavy episode. This is just all the bad news bears this week. It's going to get fun.
Yeah. We don't worry. We have
lots of fun.
Some fun stuff coming up.
Swinging more into the fun. Also watched 2 other things. I watched The Home. I don't know if you've heard of this one.
I have not.
It's got Pete Davidson in it. It is a horror movie.
Okay.
Pete Davidson is taking care. He's like the janitor / jack of all trades guy at like a nursing home for old people, and it is not what it seems. It wasn't wonderful or great. I was recommended it kind of by the Fright Reels podcast, which is a horror movie podcast. You guys want to go check out the 2 Jims. They make a podcast together, but not because of them, but because one of my friends who listens to that podcast and was talking about it to me through their podcast. So I got the recommendation, third party, and I checked it out. So it was okay. It reminded me a lot. It wasn't the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. It wasn't great, but it reminded me of like a worse Society. Have you seen Society?
No, I've not seen Society.
Okay. Well, if for people that have seen Society, they're like, oh, okay, they're picking up what I'm putting down. But just basically, there is a decent twist at the end. It's pretty good. I was very bored up until the very end of the movie, which is usually it's the opposite. It's like the ending is what ruins it. But it was the first half. I was like, okay, all right, creepy old people. There's a bunch of old people fucking, and it's like I hate that. But then you get to the end and you're like, oh, okay, that was pretty good. So check out The Home if you have not yet.
A bunch of old people fucking is kind of Pete Davidson's career, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Like he just kind of does comedy that's the background of people who left their TV. A couple old people left their TV on while they're fucking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Pete Davidson fan, but yeah, I am a little intrigued by him.
Right. Yeah.
And, I enjoyed The King of Staten Island. I thought that was decent.
Yeah.
And stuff. So to see him in a horror movie, I was like, okay. And he did all right. He did just fine. So, and he was in Bodies, 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 and he played the asshole, which he was good at. So, that was a very fitting role for Pete Davidson. This one, he's more likable. But
okay.
Yeah, so it was all right. And then I watched, this is also going to come as a shock to a lot of people. I watched Death of a Unicorn.
Oh, I love me some Death of a Unicorn.
Listen, that was a lot of fun.
Oh, man.
That was a fun film. And the reason why it's a big deal is because I famously do not like A24.
I also am not an A24 fan.
I love that. So, right.
I
so
think
obviously
Ari Aster is, yeah. I think Ari Aster is one of the most overrated directors on the planet.
Oh, yes, thank you.
um, oh man,
Absolutely. But Death of a Unicorn, it's different, and I love
really,
that.
it's not your typical A24 film at all. Yeah. Oh man, my partner legitimately is essentially an old that Jenna Ortega's character, 20 years older, just
Oh, okay.
constantly just hitting the vape and going, let's see where this goes.
I love that. And I'm not even like a huge Jenna Ortega fan. I mean, she's all right.
Yeah.
I love that she's like, this generation's alt girl. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about her.
We
She was
all
great.
had one.
Right. Exactly. So, but she was great in this film, and it was just so different. And like, it's a monster movie, but it's safe for kids. Like, if you want to get your young kids in a horror, like, this is a great film for that. Like, it's a good family horror movie. But it also has the gore to scratch the itch for the adults.
And it's it's got a lot of laughs, but it's also got a lot of like serious, like, holy cow, this is like, I can't believe they went there,
Yeah.
Not to spoil anything for anybody, but like, there were very, very visceral moments in that movie.
Oh, I was in tears
Yeah,
at the end.
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect to get emotional about this. It's not perfect. I'll say that. It's
Right.
not perfect.
Yeah,
I hate the fucking dad character. He sucks.
He does suck.
But I can forgive its flaws because it was just so enjoyable. Like I said, so different. So check that out if you're looking for something strange to get into. That's good.
It's a solid popcorn horror movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty good. So anyway, it has a long weekend rant. Let's let's get in some news. Huh? How about that? Some news.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and my cat is agreeing.
Hi, cat.
This is Butters.
Butters. Aw. Love that. So I have the best news. The best news you guys will hear all fucking week.
I'm excited.
Oh, here we go. It's good. Here's to bring up your spirits from the earlier downtroddenness. Lost Prophets lead singer Ian Watkins was beaten to death in prison.
I am so excited about that.
This is fucking fantastic.
I said I hope all of the people who beat him to death's hands are okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They got the best painkillers.
And they have, absolutely.
So I don't know if he was actually beaten to death or not. I think I put beaten to death in there to make it dramatic. I'd imagine probably in prison, but they haven't. It's still coming out, so we don't know for sure. But I hope it was a beating and it was slow. It lasted a while.
Right. I hope he was tormented. The things that he did, man, you want to talk about bringing the seriousness in the heavy into this podcast.
Yeah. I'll get into it. For people that don't know, like, why are you celebrating this man's death? Because he's a fucking horrible, awful pedophile who was serving a 29-year sentence for sex crimes against children. Notably, one of those being conspiring to have sex with a 1-year-old. And many other things. That's not the only one, but that's probably like the worst of it.
I think, isn't like that scene in a Serbian film inspired by his search?
Oh God, probably. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, he was trying to find someone to let him do that, and
probably. Yeah, that's he's a terrible, fucked up, horrible piece of shit person. And I'm not like I'm usually like against the death penalty, but for people like this,
absolutely. Absolutely.
They need it. I mean, it's just when it comes to death penalty, there's a lot of did they, didn't they situation. Unfortunately, as far as I know, I don't know if there's anywhere, within Western culture where pedophiles get the death penalty.
But we'll lock people up for life for weed in this country.
Right. Exactly. Thankfully he wasn't in an American prison. He was, I think across the pond there.
I think he was. Yeah.
And, but a 29-year sentence, that's pretty good. But this was not the first time he had actually been beaten, or attacked for this. They really had it out for him. So he was also attacked in 2023, but of course survived that attack.
Mm-hmm.
but he was like amongst like this particular prison, like they've got people just like him in there, and they kind of have like this group of like vigilantes who's like like beat the shit out of and kill these people. And it's like, that's you know, I almost don't want them to be in prison, but like also if they weren't in there doing it, who would?
Right.
Um,
No, I mean, it's there was a story of a guy who went around like just
killing bad people.
killing bad people on the, you know, on the sex crimes list against children.
That
You know,
happened
children
recently.
younger than 10. Yeah, that was within the last 10 years.
No, I mean, like, there was a guy just like last week. I guess I should have added that to the weird news.
Oh.
Who attacked and killed, I think, like a 70-year-old man because he was on the sex offender registry. And
Wow.
and of course, the neighbors called the cops. He's in jail now, and they're like, "Well, why?" And he's like, "Because he's a fucking pedophile." You know, what do you mean? And he's happy as a clam in his mugshot, so proud that he did it. And it's like, why, you know, good for you. But
Yeah.
unfortunately now he will spend the rest of his life, or, you know, probably in prison. It's tough, you know, kids and animals, right? It's like,
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, going off of your weird news story last week
right.
with the animals, and I, you know, I commented that, you know, I definitely would have gone full John Wick for my cat and have, in fact, kicked someone's door in who tried to steal my cat.
Because you do what you got to do to protect yours, you know?
Yeah.
So you can relate. But yeah, I thought that was a bit of good news. I thought I'd share that with everybody. You know, a little pick me up in the middle of your week.
Yeah.
The next story, it's not necessarily good news, but it's very ironic. So, in Disneyland, a guest takes her final ride on the iconic Haunted Mansion.
Oh.
A woman in her roughly about in her 60s arrived at the end of the ride unresponsive on October the 6th. First responders, of course, were called to the scene and took the woman to the hospital, where she was later pronounced dead. Her identity and her exact cause of death have not been released, but again, we can't help but to find the irony there. You know, the Haunted Mansion ride has more cremains in it than probably a crematorium.
It's, oh, man. Again, as somebody who worked major theme parks, that was a problem.
Yeah, it is.
Especially in October. It was a real problem. But what's crazy is to the thought of like the Haunted Mansion starts out with we're, you know, 999 happy haunts, but there's room for 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's really fucked up. But it is. It's really fucked up, and I'm very sad for the family and stuff. But I mean, my God, how can you think of a more iconic way to go?
That's, I mean, to be the person that died in the Haunted Mansion. Like, do they rewrite the script around you?
They better.
I hope so.
If I were the family, I'd fucking demand it. I'd be like, look, you're gonna do this. It's the least you can do.
Especially if Disney's, you know, in any way implicated in the cause of death.
I think that's where we're at right now, trying to figure out, is it their fault?
Right.
Probably not. I mean, it probably isn't. The Haunted Mansion, like, it isn't that scary.
It's not, and you know, a lot can happen in, like, what is it, 14 and a half minutes or something like that.
Is it really that long?
I don't remember.
I've never been on it. That's crazy.
They change it for well, so you can do on Disney Plus now, you can virtually ride the ride.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Not saying that you should subscribe to Disney Plus, because fuck Disney.
I don't. I steal someone else's subscription, but
perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
Oh.
If you're logged in to someone else's and stealing it, go watch. You can experience part of the Haunted Mansion on your screen. You know, obviously you can't look and swivel your head, so you are stuck to wherever the camera was pointing. But
still, I've never been to Disney, so
yeah,
that would be a treat for me.
Yeah,
maybe, and I'd probably be thinking, like, the whole time, like, well, I wonder what part she died at. I'm like, this has got to be it,
right? It's a lot of fun if you're partaking in some herbal medication.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
Very well. I know what I'll report to you guys about for my next weekend updates. It'll be very cool. Wow. Yeah. So that I thought that was interesting. Of course, I think a lot of people find that pretty interesting and again, ironic and iconic.
Absolutely.
For the poor woman, of course, condolences to the family. It's not. I'm glad that they're keeping her identity under wraps. And I hope that they continue to do that, unless the family themselves, of course, want to put it out there. But
Yeah.
why would you? But I would be curious to know what they think about it once they kind of have days to process. I mean, are they like, do they think about the way we do? Like, if that was my family member, would I be like, man, that sucks? But like, also, that's kind of
What
cool,
a way
mom.
to go.
Yeah, right. I think after a while, yes. I mean, after I've had some time, I'd be like, now that I think about it.
Right. Yeah. Again, as long as it was natural causes and like not, I can't imagine a very violent death.
I mean, if it was going to happen, whether she was at home or at Disney, like,
Right.
I'd rather it be Disney,
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. Anyway, that was my news.
Well, so my news is more of the like, holy cow, what's happened? Like, what was this person thinking? So in Russia, the 65-year-old man walked into the Kirov clinic with a tumor on the back of his neck, the same size as his head.
On the back of his neck?
Yeah, on the back of his neck.
Okay.
So the surgeons were able to remove it, and it was benign. It was just a big fatty lump of skin and muscle that grows between the skin and the muscle. But when they were like, "Hey, so how long has this been here?" He said he'd been living with it for 16 years.
How do you
How do you sleep?
How do you sleep? How do you
sit back in your car?
Yes, or a chair,
or a chair, right? Or yeah.
How do you wear a hat?
Yeah.
I mean,
how do you do you put a hoodie over it?
Do you have to really stretch out the neck holes in all your crew neck t-shirts?
Yeah. He said he'd been treating it with simple ointments without success for 16 years.
What the fuck was he using?
I'm sorry. Salicylic acid does not treat everything.
He's like, I'm just going to put some Neosporin on it. It'll be all right. He's tried everything. He's like, okay, jock itch cream, it's your turn.
Right. Really doesn't like the way the icy hot makes it feel.
Oh, no. What a guy. And, I think that a lot of people kind of get stuff like this and you're afraid to go get it checked out, right?
Right. Yeah. You don't want the big C coming in.
Big C, right? And then you live with it for that long, and you go and you find out that it's just fucking nothing for 16 years. Oh my god.
Years. Yeah. Just benign fatty lump.
But I mean, obviously he seems to be in good health otherwise if he hasn't been to the fucking doctor, and because surely he didn't walk into a doctor's office at any point in time during that time period.
Without a doubt.
Unless they just let him walk in and they're like, hey, what about that thing? And he's like, no, don't worry about it. I got some Vagisil working right now. I don't know. Whatever. I put some what's it called? The fucking
spermicide.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Some spermicide on it.
Spermicide helped kill the thing growing out of me, right? That's what it's supposed to do, stop things from growing.
I was thinking about benzocaine, but yeah, that works too.
Oh, benzocaine. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, but again, yeah, surely he hasn't. So he hasn't gotten just a basic illness, or he just dresses it up when he goes out to disguise it to the doctor's office.
Right.
So
nobody cares about him. Was like, hey, you should get that checked out.
Not one person, right, in his fucking life. He should really take stock of his people after all this.
For sure.
Why didn't one of you say anything? Just one. I'm sure people probably did. They probably did, and he probably was like, and just like I said, complete denial. Didn't want it to be something worse, and
Right.
just put it off and put it off and put it off. But he didn't have to do that. But even if it was that, like, there's treatment for that. It's 2025. Well, it wasn't when it started, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like, as somebody who has like I have a lipedema in my eye, so like they can't remove it because I might have double vision.
Yeah.
But like I've had it since I was born, and so
Yeah.
it's like one of those like, oh, okay, it's as long as it's not getting any bigger, golden.
Yeah.
But like, if it was the size of my head,
Then they might be like, listen, you're going to have to deal with that double vision.
right? Yeah, fine. Take away my driver's license. I'll sit at home and like deal with it. I'll
That
get
is
two
so wild.
TVs and
Yeah, exactly. Right. You can watch two things at once. Your brain would love that, probably.
oh, I'm sure.
You'd be like, this is the life. You get bored with one, you just look at the other for a minute, but go back and
Right.
forth. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Wow, what an interesting. But so I'm assuming he's doing all right now.
Yeah, absolutely fine. The surgeon was like, most people postpone the visit, hoping that things would the things disappear, but the only way to remove them is surgically. But like, this is saying, oh, it's nothing until it's the size of your head.
Did the guy give a statement at all?
No, don't. They don't identify the guy. They don't say,
That's unfortunate.
Just that he's some 65-year-old Russian man.
My God, he was just now rounding his 50s when this started. Okay, that's wild.
Yeah, he was 49. He was a decade older than I am.
And he, wow, poor guy.
Ugh.
Well, I'm glad he got it taken care of finally.
Finally,
And,
yeah. May the rest of his years be full of joy and excitement.
And this is your green light to get that thing checked out.
Absolutely.
Let's go get it checked out.
Yeah.
It's probably nothing. And
right. Yeah, it's probably just some fat in a weird place.
And even if it is, if you catch it early enough, it's got better chances of you beating it. So
absolutely. I mean, I caught mine and survivor to this day. I mean, we're only 18 months out but
but here you are. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay. Well, let's pivot. Let's get to our topic of this week.
The main event, as they say.
The main event. So this was an interesting situation because you guys know, I've have you auditioners come on now here and host the show with me, and I had a good outline for what I wanted spooky months to look like, an idea of the different topics, and I kind of let you guys pick. But when I had you on the phone, you said, "Well, I have an idea."
Yeah.
And you actually brought this one up.
So I spent a decade living in Nashville, Tennessee, and spent a lot of it very interested in what they call the Bell Witch haunting, but is not thought to be a ghost haunting or a witch. So it's a little more complex than just a spooky story of a ghost haunting. I mean, here's the thing about the Bell Witch. Everyone she harms, allegedly, are terrible people. I mean, historically terrible people. There is Andrew Jackson is involved in the Bell Witch haunting, quote unquote. You may know him from the Trail of Tears.
Oh, that guy? I'm just kidding.
Or the $20 bill.
Like I said, how fitting, because we are recording this actually on Indigenous Peoples Day. So
it is Indigenous Peoples Day. So So absolutely, we are gonna shit on Andrew Jackson and why he had that stark white hair.
Oh gosh, that fucking guy. So you're saying we're safe, so we can talk about her. Or is it one of those things that, like, because some of them, some of the dolls and stuff, it's like, oh, if you take a picture of them, they'll kill you or
Oh
something.
no.
Um,
So this is specifically you have to be in Robertson County around the town of Adams, Tennessee.
oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, it's a location specific thing. So the Bell family, uh, whom the witch is named after, uh, uh, very much up and kind of located from North Carolina under some very suspicious and possibly uh, horrific reasons.
Oh,
It's not really known why they went from being prominent land and slave owners in North Carolina and part of their local Baptist church to quickly relocating John Bell was in his 50s, I think.
okay. What's the theory as to why they might have?
It's either murder or assault.
Well, yeah, those are terrible things. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Um, and so they moved to Robertson County, Tennessee, by the Red River, and it's now Adams, Tennessee. But the Red River Baptist Church still stands, where John Bell was an elder.
Oh. Well,
And
you know what they say.
yeah.
When the river runs red, take the dirt road. I had to squeeze that in there somewhere. Come on.
Oh man, like that of the jokes to make for whatever reason, my mind did not connect that one. That's good.
Really? I'm like, I have to beat him to it. That's
Oh,
that's what I think of every time I hear, Red River.
oh man, yeah, no, absolutely.
Anyway, proceed.
So John and his wife Lucy moved their whole family in the early 1800s. We don't have an exact year, um, and he started acquiring all this land. Wound up with like 328 acres. Then started kind of clear cutting things, which is generally not great for the environment. And in 1817, when he was out inspecting a cornfield in an area that he had recently, within the last year or two, clear cut, he said he found a strange looking animal and sitting in the middle of one of the corn rows, and said it looked like the body of a dog and the head of a rabbit, and said he shot it several times and the animal vanished into thin air. And this was the first time he'd written in his journal any kind of manifestation of an entity on the land.
So it was like big, small,
He said it was a big dog
big dog with
with
a
the head of a
rabbit
rabbit.
head.
Yeah.
I think they call those a dogget. That's what I would call it. I mean,
That's yeah.
but it was alive. It wasn't dead in the
It was
field.
alive, and yeah. This wasn't like a jackalope,
That's what it sounds like to me. I don't.
Right? No, that's exactly how I imagined it the first time I'd heard the story. Was like, oh, it's this jackalope, but also uh my mind goes to kind of like the what is it, the black tyke, the horror
Okay.
dog in Scotland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Good reference.
Yeah. something.
That is very bizarre. I do,
Right.
I do really enjoy and because this isn't, which I'm sure you'll get into. It's not the only bizarre creature in the whole story, but like that's, I think my favorite part of it is all these weird fucking animals
Yeah, no,
popping up.
it's that's like I said, it's not your average ghost story
It's
here.
not. Yeah, it's not.
So the after this incident, um they started hearing like these banging sounds on the walls of their home. They started hearing uh voices and like getting like they would get more and more frequent and more forceful as time went on. And like they said, Bell and his sons would like run around the house trying to, and because it's because they're slave owners and it's a plantation. Again, the Bell Witch attacks horrible people.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're trying to catch like who's making these noises and see if it's just a slave banging on the house or something, and whispering by windows or whatever, and always would wind up empty-handed. The children then started waking up screaming, complaining like that rats were gnawing at them or at their bedposts. They were having the covers pulled off of them, pillows tossed to the floor. Is what they were reporting to their family. And then suddenly the voice starts getting really violent, and starts saying that like that it's like it's an evil spirit that has lived there for thousands of years, and it eventually adopts the name Kate, which is where the story gets a little confused. Like,
Yeah, it starts off being like these weird, these just unexplainable like apparitions and like the weird animals and stuff like that. At one point I know Drew Ball had seen like an extraordinarily sized bird.
right. Yes, absolutely.
And as it continues to grow more into like poltergeist activity, it kind of starts turning into Jeff the Talking Mongoose.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
It's like, wait, what?
Like there's the huge bird. There's the man that was seen that then turned into a mule with his face on it.
Yeah. Which is horrifying, by the
Oh.
way.
Horrifying.
And fuck all that. I'm out. When that happens, like I'm leaving.
It's the thing is like the voice would also like sing hymns and quote scripture and like carry on conversation. From what is said, but when they said that it identified as Kate, some people then kind of linked it back to, oh, it's the spirit of Kate Batts, who was a woman who was part of the family that the Bells bought land from. One of the families the Bells bought land from. And so they said, oh, it's Kate Batts is a witch. And like it was her spirit haunting the Bells. The problem with that is Kate Batts was still alive.
Oh. Can you imagine being so unimportant to other people that
Right. Well, no, This is the so-called historians and ghost hunters that are like, oh, it's the ghost of Kate
Oh,
Batts.
okay. I see. This is years after the fact.
Yeah. It's like I said, the story itself became confused.
I'm picturing
Not-
like the town, and they're like, "Oh, it's definitely Kate Batts," and she's like, "Motherfucker, I'm still here."
Yeah, no. Kate Batts didn't die for many years to come, and also was never on record like contesting the sale of the land or anything like that, because they also said that was her motivation
Gotcha.
is she was like angry about the land being sold.
Well, and that's where I draw like my comparison to Jeff, because he was very much, if you look at like, there's like a handful of Jeff the Talking Mongoose quotes out there, and
Mhm.
they're really bizarre and all over the place, much like, and he also had a very regular name of Jeff,
Right.
like Kate. But he goes from being like, I am Satan and you should fucking fear me, to I am God and I am everything holy and divine. And like,
Right.
that is the spectrum that we have here also. Which is really interesting because, I mean, to this day, I mean, Jeff is very much revered as like a hoax, even though it's never been proven to be one. People just kind of widely accept that it was probably a hoax. It was probably the teenage daughter that was, making these voices and, talking
Right.
to people and stuff. But, he also had like the gift of like knowing things about people he shouldn't know. And the Bell Witch
Absolutely.
definitely had that as well. And they would even like test it, multiple times. And she would supposedly go to other people's houses and like eavesdrop on their conversations and stuff.
I mean, that's one of those. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what they say. I mean,
It's wild to like think, yeah, like how she possibly could have known like those things and without being
there.
like
Yeah.
very sneaky. Yeah.
Right. Right.
The thing with the Bell Witch that where things get a little more interesting is like I said, the Bell Witch fucks with horrible people, and Drury Bell and Jesse Bell and John Bell Jr. all served in the Battle of New Orleans under General Andrew Jackson.
This fucking guy again.
This fucking guy. We won't get into the horrors of Andrew Jackson, but look it up.
Yeah,
The thing is, right, is they're talking about putting Charlie Kirk on the 50-cent piece or the dollar coin next year.
Gosh.
I thought you had to wait a lot longer before they put you on the money, like as a white supremacist.
Well, anything's possible in this day and age.
Oh man, things are moving too fast.
What a time to be alive.
No
Fuck.
kidding. I can't wait to read the horrors of
Past.
the horror tales. Yeah, in the future of what we're dealing with right now. The history books should be really incredible if we have them.
It's like, it's great because like, I don't even have to fucking leave my house to get Taco Bell delivered to my home. Like, that's really cool.
Right.
But also, there's just casual racism.
Yes.
I'm not gonna get into it, but goddamn,
it's the best of times and the worst of times.
Worst of times. Yep. I'm sorry. Andrew Jackson.
So Andrew Jackson in 1819 hears through, knowing some of the Bell family about the disturbances in the Bell home, and decides he's going to bring an entourage of his men and horses and just as well as a witch hunter to the Bell property.
Which is just a person, by the way, that kills promiscuous women. Let's be real.
Yes, right, right. Or says they do. One of the two.
Right. Promiscuous. And when I say promiscuous, what I actually mean is free-thinking women.
Right. Yes. Women who dare to want to experience pleasure or, the company of other women even.
Oh, no, we can't have that.
Whoa. But they were roommates.
I will say, I didn't mention this, but I'll say it because you brought it up. John Bell Jr., that name fucking slaps.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is like a professional wrestler's name if I've ever heard one.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000% John Bell Jr.
Bell Jr. Yeah, I mean, come on. That's...
he's the John Henry of 1817.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Pause for the John Henry entrance music to play.
Oh, we could make that happen. That's
So Andrew Jackson's rolling into town, wagons, horses, witch hunter, who's telling story. Oh, excuse me. Let me start that over again. Knock the mic. Andrew Jackson's rolling into town, wagons, horses, witch hunter, just all decked out, ready to come take on the Bell Witch or have some fun laughing at the Bell family. One of the two.
He's got his crew, right?
Yeah. Rolling in deep.
Mm-hmm.
As they're approaching the Bell property, the story goes that the wagon jolted to a stop and all the men pushing on the wheels could not get it going. It was a dry, flat road, wasn't stuck in the mud, wasn't, with the horses pulling and all the men pushing on the wheels, it was not moving an inch.
Wow.
And they said Jackson screamed out, "By the Eternal, it must be the Bell Witch." As a joke.
That was good.
As a joke.
As a joke, of course.
Yeah, this is because apparently "By the Eternal" was Andrew Jackson's favorite curse.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start using that.
Since we're going with favorite curses, mine is Jupiter's cock.
Ooh, that's a good one. I didn't know Jupiter had cock.
Yeah, I mean it was a Roman curse.
Oh, okay, okay, that Jupiter.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That Jupiter, Jupiter, the Roman god.
Gotcha.
Jupiter's cock.
I'm like, I'm gonna be stargazing tonight.
Well, I mean, they made that whole freaking what was that horrible TV show with the Jupiter's Legacy with Josh Duhamel.
Haven't seen that. Actually, Jupiter will be out tonight with the movie. By the time you guys listen to this, that will have happened already. But you can spot Jupiter and Jupiter's cock this evening, if you're so lucky.
My favorite Jupiter trivia, as far as the celestial body goes, is that all of Jupiter's moons are named after Jupiter's mistresses in Roman mythology.
Are they really?
Uh-huh.
I love that for Jupiter.
And the name of the probe that we sent to go investigate all of Jupiter's moons and Jupiter was Juno, which is Jupiter's wife.
Did we really?
Yes.
We're assholes.
The NASA nerds are amazing.
Oh, ruining poor Jupiter's fun.
I know. Back to the Bell Witch.
Yes.
So by the Eternal, it must be the Bell Witch. And they said that it is said that a disembodied female voice then spoke from the bushes and said, "General Jackson, you can proceed now, but I will see you later this evening."
Oh, okay.
And said the men dug through the bushes and could not find the source of the voice, and they were then moments later able to proceed across the property and up the lane, and made their way to the home. And throughout the evening, Jackson told war stories while his entourage set up tents in the yard, and the witch tamer or witch hunter / tamer was making all kinds of grandiose tales up and talking about he brought silver bullets with his pistol that could kill any evil spirit that they would come in contact with. And that the reason that she hadn't shown her face yet was because he had that pistol.
Oh my gosh.
And almost immediately, he began jerking his body in all different directions and complaining that he was being stuck with pins and beaten severely. And then was kicked in his ass by an invisible foot. And he jumped up and ran out the front door. And the voice again came to the men and said, "He's not the only fraud in your party, General. And I will send him out the door in a similar fashion on the next evening." I don't, the following evening. So needless to say, everyone was terrified. General Jackson insisted he was going to stay because he had to know who the other fraud in his company was. And he obviously was staying in the house while his men were out in their tents, and they were begging throughout the night to leave. Nobody reports on what happened after that, after they went to sleep in their tents, but they were seen early the next morning in the town of Springfield on the way back to Nashville.
We just talked about Springfield last week's episode. We're doing it again.
No, yeah.
I was born in Springfield, Ohio.
Oh, okay. So this is Springfield, Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Springfield, Missouri last week. So we're just getting all the states.
Yes, I mean, that's why the Simpsons are from Springfield.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can Springfield anywhere.
Yep, Springfield anywhere. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, so they're all spotted the next morning, and when asked about it later, Jackson is quoted that "I would rather fight the whole of the British alone in New Orleans than fight the Bell Witch again."
Wow. What a pussy.
Right?
Really? Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, well, what's crazy is, if you know anything about Andrew Jackson, other than the horrible shit he did, is that somebody tried to assassinate him with dual pistols, both of which misfired, and he then beat the man to death with his cane.
Yeah, I remember that story.
So
he's just not a good person.
No.
Like, I mean, I guess I would too if somebody tried to assassinate me, but...
Right, yes.
But I think that he did it with a smile on his face.
It is also allegedly why when Jackson's hair started growing out white was shortly after the visit to the Bell property. Every year, if you decide to go visit Nashville during spooky season for whatever reason, I wouldn't recommend it. Nashville's very Baptist and generally anti-spooky season. But if you go to Nashville, or you find yourself in Nashville for whatever reason during the month of October, you can go to Andrew Jackson's plantation, and that's what it is. They try and dress it up as, oh, it's Andrew Jackson's mansion. It was his plantation where he kept slaves and did horrible things to them. And they have correspondences about the Bell Witch that they have on display. There are also supposedly many slave slaves that haunt Andrew Jackson's plantation
Oh,
that they play up quite a bit. I'm not a big haunting person, but like I said, the Bell Witch is interesting because there are so many other parts to this than just the haunting. So after Andrew Jackson leaves, the Bell Witch starts tormenting Betsy Jackson when she gets engaged to a man named Joshua, who I can't remember his last name, but scratches on the back, will not let her sleep, howling and knocking on the bed, and all
sounds
of
like
the
she just has cats. I don't.
right. Essentially, yeah, it was like cats or rats or um. I actually was woken up this morning by the howling of my cat, but I digress. So Betsy Jackson, Betsy Bell. Betsy Bell. Eventually, it's so is driven so like horror struck and ill by not being able to sleep and being tormented, that the engagement with this man Joshua ends, and the witch then sets her sights on John Bell, and starts relentlessly vowing to kill him.
Which is such a weird, like, again, another weird because it seems like she wasn't a bad entity,
Right.
throughout most of this.
Right. This is really the only instance of like this entity being malevolent.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah. So he started having like twitches and what sounded like to me is he had a stroke.
Yeah, yeah.
He started having difficulty swallowing. His face would twitch. And like things grew worse and worse. And after a year of that, he was then confined to his house, and he became confined to his house in the fall of 1820, and the allegedly like his slippers would come flying off when he tried to walk.
Oh no, that's like a bad infomercial.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All the people who don't know how to use things properly. Like the joke I have always made is he's old John Bell fucking walks like the Monty Python characters.
Yeah. It just seems so silly, but okay, all right.
He then started having seizures.
Which is not funny.
No, but when he would recover from the seizures, he would slap himself in the face,
which is hilarious. So,
and that then like the entity's voice was cursing and chastising old Jack Bell, which is what only the entity called him.
Why?
Just
to be an asshole?
Being an asshole. Yeah.
I guess I do that to people too. They're like, oh, I'm so and so, and they'll pretend not to know their name and call them something else on purpose.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I called a guy at the pharmacy today Karen because he was screaming about the fact that about the pharmacy that I go to had monopolized the pharmacies in the area because he was a Rite Aid customer, and they recently went bankrupt and closed every store in the country.
Wow. But I bet he loves capitalism, or claims he does.
Oh, I'm sure he does. But he was screaming and hollering about, like, well, how am I supposed to know the prescription number? And how am I, like, you're supposed to tell me which medications I need filled.
Oh.
No, man, count your pills.
Right. Yeah. Right. Some accountability somewhere, sir.
Right. Yeah. And like, how do I use the app? Well, you can't use the app until you filled a prescription here.
Yeah, don't get me started on customer service.
Yeah. Right. Yes. So, yeah. So, I mean, I was like, hey, Karen, these people can't help you. Like, and you're holding up the line.
Did he clutch his pearls?
I mean, so many times I've had people clutch their pearls because of the things I've said to them in public places. Because
How dare you chastise me for being an asshole?
Listen, after I survived brain cancer, I give no fucks anymore.
It's over for you bitches.
If I'm thinking it, if I'm thinking it because you're being an asshole, you're gonna hear it.
Love that for you.
Yeah, it's very freeing. Because I mean, what worse can they do to me, right? Like,
that's true. Exactly.
But so the morning of like December 20th, 1820, Jack Bell died. He'd slipped into a coma the day of December 19th. And immediately after his death, there was a vial of some strange black liquid in the cupboard, and John Jr. let the cat, like, dripped some on the cat's tongue, and the cat jumped up into the air, rolled over, and then was dead by the time it hit the floor.
Wow, what an asshole.
Again,
I thought I liked John Bell Jr., but I don't now. He's the fucking Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, he's a heel.
of the professional wrestlers of that time. Wow.
Right. Hulk Hogan, The Rock.
He's not a good dude. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, right. Fuck that guy. So after that, the entity is heard exclaiming through the house, I gave old Jack a big old dose of that last night, and that fixed him.
Wow.
And then John is said to have thrown the vial into the fireplace, and it burst bright blue in flames. And then John Bell's funeral the following day was the largest funeral ever attended in Robertson County, Tennessee.
I believe that. There was only like 600 people there, so
3 separate preachers eulogized him. There still are only 600 people there, by the way. Adams, Tennessee is 628 people is the population of Adams, Tennessee.
I don't know what it was at that time. I based it off of modern day. So all 24 of the townsfolk were there.
Right. But, considering the people traveled for miles from different congregations in 1820.
That's true. That's a trek.
Yeah. Again, it's not the worst parts of Appalachia, but it's still Appalachia.
Sure.
Like, as in like the terrain wise. So it wasn't an easy getting going anywhere. Still hilly.
Oh, well, they're just there to be looky-loos. They just wanted to see the witch. Come on.
Oh, of course. I'm sure.
They didn't give a fuck about that John Jack, whatever his name was.
Yeah. But as a crowd of mourners were leaving the graveyard after everything, allegedly, there was a witch singing and holding a bottle of brandy. and like an apparition of the witch singing a song and holding a bottle of brandy.
Wow. And then John Bell comes in with the clothesline.
Right. Yeah.
That didn't happen. That would have been cooler if it did.
And allegedly the singing stopped until every last mourner had left the graveyard, and then the entity was gone and almost non-existent.
Wow.
For many years. So
she just pretty much had it out for this man.
Essentially. Yeah, the man who came onto the land and stole the life from it by clear cutting the forests.
But she loved his wife. Is what I read.
Right. Yes. And promised to visit
her.
Promised to also visit John Bell's descendants.
Yeah, like the kids.
Yeah.
Right. Loved the wife. Would like bring her gifts and stuff and compliment her. I mean, do you think like the witch was just like, I'll show you what a real man is, and was like trying to like just dominate the situation?
The first third wave feminist.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I mean, what's that about?
Right. Well, I mean, that's like because she fucked with Betsy until Betsy called off the engagement. Like, was Betsy maybe getting engaged to somebody who was horrible?
Right. Good point.
Yeah.
Could be. Well, that's what that's we got that joke, right? The father figure sitting in the chair with the shotgun, right? When she brings home the date. I mean, we've all heard that trope before. That was just her version of that. Really interesting. She just hated that man.
Yeah, really hated him, and also had a disdain for Andrew Jackson,
which we all agree on. I mean, it's
1,000%.
She's not wrong. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so, but was pretty much kind of unheard of, until for 8 years, essentially, until John Bell Jr. spoke with the entity about life and civilization and like the origins of civilization and Christianity and the need for people to like respect the forest spirits. It also predicted the Civil War.
Oh, well, come on though. Who didn't see that coming?
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a matter of time.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. Some would say we're still in it.
Right.
It never really ended.
So where does the cave come into the whole? You said that they thought that she lived there. Is this like during the Bell family haunting?
This was kind of after 1935, right? Joel Thomas Bell, the great grandson of John Bell, allegedly said that the Bell Witch were to return, but then like did not remark on whether or not that happened. But after that,
all right,
people started like the Bell family obviously has sold off much of the land throughout the years,
right?
And some of it was given as reparations to slaves, as freed slaves, were sharecropping on the land and then took ownership of the land and what have you. Because Nashville was not part of the Confederacy for very long. It was one of the first things that the Union seized.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it was right there. So. Right.
Yes, it was. Yes. People often think Kentucky was part of the Confederacy, but they were not.
Yeah.
It was so that was literally the Mason-Dixon line.
No, people don't think that. It's just people in Kentucky that think that.
Oh man, it's the funniest thing to me here in Appalachia is driving through West Virginia and seeing people with West Virginia plates and Confederate flags on their trucks.
Yep. It is
We
As
fought a
somebody
whole
that,
war over why West Virginia exists.
yeah, as someone that goes there frequently, actually, it's a lot more tolerant than I think some people realize. It's just that when you
Oh,
see stuff like that, you remember it.
right. No, absolutely. West Virginia is beautiful and you
Oh
should
yeah,
go there.
oh yeah,
Like it very, very tolerant.
people are so nice.
So nice.
Usually,
Appalachia is not the boogeyman everybody thinks it is. It's
well, but we've been through towns that have nooses in the front yard,
oh
like modern day, and
those
so
yeah, those places do exist, but they
yeah,
exist everywhere in this country.
everywhere, right? Yeah.
Uh, the most racist place I've ever been is Oregon.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that though. I can understand. No, not that I understand the racism, but I can understand it being racist. I can see
Yeah.
that.
Well, I mean, not a lot of people had the money to migrate to Oregon
Yeah,
before the Industrial Revolution and the invention of the car.
yeah. Well, and nowadays, most of the time, it's just like rich entitled kids that live there. I mean,
Oh,
really, it
in
is.
Portland, absolutely, yeah. But yes, the rest of Oregon, like there's a big, huge cult out there that owns a lot of land. There was that town where those white supremacists
Oh yeah.
like took over the library and like government buildings for a while.
My God.
That was like within the last decade.
Oh wow. Jeez.
The yeah. Um, but yes, so as the land got parsed off, like people were finding caves uh on the property, on the former Bell property, and they would go, and then you had people that were going caving and exploring and all of that because some people just are into that. I'm not going to kink shame you.
We don't do that here.
We don't. I'm severely claustrophobic. Like people standing too like
Mm.
behind me irks me out.
No, I'm not into the splunking either. I get you.
Yeah. Yeah. But like if whatever floats your boat, it's cool. I'm not gonna knock it. You do you. But post 1935, you started having people going into those caves, reporting coming across the entity and being chased out of the caves and hearing voices and just all kinds of unexplainable manifestations near what was the Bell Farm. Sounds of children playing in, again, a cave.
In the cave where children should not play.
Um, yeah. Like, you shouldn't hear a playground when you're in a cave.
Yeah.
um,
Carnival? No way.
yeah. It's not uncommon to see like candles dancing around in dark fields at night. A lot of like film photography is often like has like a mist to it and is almost always has like orbs and what have you, which I don't subscribe to because I'm a photographer, so I know dust on a lens when I see
Yeah.
see
Or
it.
bugs,
Yeah. Um
lens
but
flare. Yeah.
yeah. But like everything having like a misty haze when you shoot on film in and around the old farm, it's interesting, you know. But like I said, that's what makes the Bell Witch so weird as like a haunting or as a witch even.
Yeah.
And the entity itself claims to be a spirit that is millennia old, so predates any uh, European arriving on that plot of land. But it's also called Kate.
Which is very modern and, for
Right.
that time period and normal, especially if considering one of her claims was that she was one of the dead indigenous people, and
Right. Yeah.
that's an interesting name for
Right. To
them.
to be knowledgeable of chapter and verse of the Baptist Bible and the hymns that were sung with it in a language that wasn't necessarily around.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, like, obviously, pretending it's real.
Yes.
Because I don't know if it was or wasn't. I can't say for sure. I wasn't there. I've never met her.
I mean, yeah, nor have I. I did when I lived in Nashville, go up to Adams to a piece of property that was part of the old Bell farm, and camp out and take a massive dose of LSD.
Oh.
And I didn't see shit.
Right, and you were trying.
Right. I was begging for it to come. I was like, please let me have some weird experience. Nope. And I mean, and there are legitimate LSD trips I've had that I could have sworn Prince was hanging out with me.
How was he?
He was phenomenal. He just like wrapped everybody in purple, and you could taste purple.
Ooh, tasting purple. The taste of purple.
The taste of purple. Yeah. It's not grape like everybody thinks it is.
No, it's purple.
It's purple.
Obviously. Probably you had the most anomalous, fucked up experience ever, but because you took hallucinogens, you thought it was just normal.
Totally.
That's what I want to believe happened.
As a seasoned traveler of the LSD planes,
You're just like, oh, it's totally normal.
I was like, oh man, yeah, it's normal. Like that dog over there talking to me with the rabbit face. Totally.
Dog it.
Yeah, the dog it.
But no, I mean, again, assuming that it's real, she obviously, I don't even know if I feel comfortable calling her she, except that I suppose that's what she preferred.
Right. Yeah. I mean, she identified herself as Kate.
Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there could be a guy named Kate.
You're not wrong, but also had a shrill female voice.
Right. So she probably was female. But when I say that I'm not really comfortable calling her is because I don't think that anything she said was honest.
Right.
Whatever the fuck that means, I don't know.
Other than that she was going to kill John Bell, maybe that is how that played out.
She'd be pretty honest in that situation. Yeah. Sure. That's she had a goal. It's an interesting concept when we think about like even like poltergeist activity is like, we've done a lot of studies on things like poltergeist, real scientific studies, not just people on TV with cameras. And we kind of find that disturbances in your general family life or you as a person can kind of affect your environment and make it seem as though it's haunted, but it's not necessarily. It's just you and your energy affecting your surroundings. So it was she just we did that episode not too long ago on like tulpas and egregores. I mean, was she just a manifestation of whatever they were running away from?
Right. Exactly.
If it was something truly horrible or, obviously she's still, and that's why she died when John died, because it was his, and I guess them's the rules. I suppose, or she could be a fucking alien. I don't know.
Right. It very well could be an alien. Could be an extra dimensional being.
Just popped in for a minute just to fuck with this guy.
Right. Like, just kind of like something that is outside of our realm of vision or something, Yeah.
And the different, like I said, I bring it back to the different beasts, the different creatures involved.
Yeah.
God, this is so weird. Just like I said, it kind of has similarities to Jeff the Talking Mongoose. It also has similarities to Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure how familiar you are with that, but it also has all these weird beasts surrounding it. And we don't look at Skinwalker Ranch and go, oh, it's haunted, even though there's poltergeist activity there, allegedly.
Right.
Even though there's other weird, seemingly ghostly things. We don't go, oh, it's a witch at Skinwalker Ranch. We go, oh, it's aliens at Skinwalker Ranch.
I
Which
mean, yeah, I think because the legend was written in 1817, what was everyone terrified of? As the witches. As
yeah,
far as being a Baptist,
yeah, it fits. It fits their culture for the
Yes,
time.
absolutely.
Which is a very fascinating. I would like to go one of these days and
Um,
try to summon her.
yeah. I mean, it's probably about 4 hours from you, from what I know.
That's not too bad,
Yeah,
actually. That's not too bad at all. Even if it was like 8, right? I'm a Midwesterner. Nowhere's
right.
too far to drive. Um, we're
But
used to that.
trust me. Yeah, I mean, again, I lived right there. Um, you go any farther north and you're in Kentucky, which is the gateway to the Midwest.
Very, very true. Yeah, I mean, I would check it out and just, and I'd be open minded to see what happens. We've had Heather Moser from Small Town Monster. She's been on here quite a bit,
Hmm.
and the Bell Witch is kind of like one of her big topics.
Ah, it's her
Yeah,
jam.
yeah, it's her jam, and she's been there quite a bit, and she talks about how she's purchased a haunted doll from
Oh,
their little museum or something. I mean, they've got like a museum or something there.
they've got museums. They've got. I mean, at this point, there's I think there's a Bellwitch cafeteria. Again, there's only 600
Nice.
people that live there, so
Right, and then all their money comes from that. But I do
essentially,
believe. I would definitely go and check it out and be open minded. I don't have any reason to not believe Heather's personal experiences and what she's had.
right.
So I would check it out, and I think that at minimum it's at least a really interesting piece of folklore.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Especially in like one that you don't normally hear presidents tied up in.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Well, we've had some with some things. I know one of the presidents was tied up with the Ozark Howler, but that's
Right. Yeah.
very much the Ozark Howler is like, considered more of a hoax. Napoleon Bonaparte's brother was involved with the Jersey Devil. Claimed he saw it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That I did not know.
Oh yeah, he saw it and tried to hunt it down at one point. He walked outside, and I don't remember if he saw it or he heard a commotion and he went outside and he found weird footprints. That's
Hmm.
probably more accurate to what actually happened. But he was convinced it was a Jersey Devil, and so he stayed for a while to try to find it.
I have heard on numerous occasions that the Jersey Devil and Spring-Heeled Jack are the same entity.
Well, that would be interesting because Spring Hill
Mhm.
Jack is more of like he's like a guy,
Right.
and then the Jersey Devil's more of like a horse bird
Yeah.
that walks on 2 legs. I've heard a lot of
Yes.
people say a lot of things about Spring Hill Jack. My consensus on him is that he was just some fucking pervert from back in the day that had really neat getaway shoes for all of his perverting that he did.
He's definitely like the one of the weirdest of the like, oh, it's just a perverted guy who can jump.
They could jump really high. Well, the one story has him like breathing like blue flames and shit, and it's weird,
Oh, yeah.
but most
Yeah.
of them are like women in alleyways, and this weird guy approaches them and gropes them, and then they freak out, and he jumps over fences and shit to get away. It's really weird. It's like, okay, that's we covered him. I think we did a standalone episode on him, and then we also covered one that was like historical sex pests or something, and he was on there.
Well, so I mean, that's why there's the blowjob scene in Ghostbusters
Yeah.
is because Dan Aykroyd said he went to this fort with a buddy and like we're Civil War fort and we're dared to stay overnight and he got a blowjob from a ghost.
What? That's based on a real, an allegedly real story.
Yeah, it's allegedly, yeah, that happened with Dan Aykroyd, and that's what inspired him and Harold Ramis to write Ghostbusters.
Wow, that's amazing. I did not know that. That's amazing.
So they were going to recreate that whole storyline as like a subplot in the original Ghostbusters movie, and then they shot it all and left most of it on the cutting room floor and decided to just use the blowjob scene in the montage of everything being haunted. And so that's why he's like in a Civil War general's outfit
Oh.
in that scene.
Wow. I had no clue. Man, I could retire from the show if we ever get Dan Aykroyd on. That's
Dude.
the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
You know, if you agree to do free advertising for his vodka, maybe he'll do it.
I will. He can advertise whatever he wants to.
Yeah.
I just got to get him. I do it every so often. I tell you guys, go harass Dan Aykroyd. Go tell him to come on the show. Tag him in all the social medias.
As far as believers go, like true believers, he's the guy.
He's the guy.
Him and famous sex pest Tom DeLonge from Blink 182.
So true. You're right about that. As far as I know, Dan Aykroyd's never been a sex pest. I hope.
No, he just gets blowjobs from ghosts. You know what? If you want to do stuff with the members of the afterlife, whatever.
Again, we don't kink shame. Yeah, it's fine. That's two consenting adults. I hope. I mean,
I hope.
That's that's what we're going to choose to believe, because that's
right.
I don't want to believe bad about Dan Aykroyd.
No. I mean, you look at the company that he keeps, and they don't all seem to be terrible people.
And he makes vodka,
and he makes very good vodka. I'm a big fan of.
I mean,
Dan
he
Aykroyd's
saw the Men in
vodka.
Black. I mean, so obviously he knows the secrets of the universe, and we need to get him on the show to talk about it.
Right, and his grandfather also famously was like a wealthy cryptid hunter and ghost hunter and alien hunter.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it runs in the family.
See, that's why he needs to come on and school me on all of his life.
If I had the connections, I would put you in contact, but that is not a connection I have.
I think if I tried hard enough, it could happen. There's like the what is it? The fucking like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever. However many degrees, you're only so far removed from anybody.
Right. Absolutely.
So, and we prove it right time and time again. Maybe I'll test it live on the show and we'll get Dan Aykroyd.
I mean, I've met him multiple times at like vodka events. But,
Did you really?
Yeah.
I love that.
So his vodka is distributed by Fernet, the same the people who distribute Fernet, but it's and I used to do their Halloween party as Beetlejuice.
Oh, okay.
In Louisville every year. And yeah.
Wow. Very cool. Well, anyway, back to
I mean, I think we've exhausted most of the Bell Witch. There's not really a lot other than people's personal experiences.
No, I agree. And I'd love to hear those stories. Maybe you, listener, have had an experience with the Bell Witch. What was that like?
Yeah. I'd be super interested.
Yeah, definitely let us know. Join the Facebook group on Wednesdays We Talk Weird on Facebook. Share it there. Email us on WednesdaysWeTalkWeird@gmail.com. There's the phone number still. We still have a hotline, 773-59-WEIRD. Give it a call, leave a message.
That's
we'll
awesome.
on the show. Yeah, and tell us your experience with the Bell Witch, or maybe you have a family member that had a family member that also hated John Bell, and you were all in on it. I don't know.
Or maybe your family member was the witch hunter that got kicked in the ass by the Bell Witch.
I'm sure that story is very undertold, because it's all told from like the Andrew Jackson side of the story, or even the Bell family side.
Yeah, I mean, that part of the story, I believe, only appears in John Bell Jr.'s diary.
Oh my God. Very cool. Very cool. But with that being said, do you have anything you want people to pay attention to? Should they follow you somewhere?
I mean, so I'm at Fire and Mischief on all of the socials. That was my photography business before I got sick. So I'm just kind of glad to be back doing anything right now. So being part of this has been a joy.
Good. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, super great. Well, we'll definitely have people, route you over there. And then do you have any? I always give the other host, the opportunity to say the final words. Do you have any final words for the audience?
Yeah. So let's go with Free Palestine.
Okay. perfectly acceptable. All righty. Well, with that being said, guys, we'll see you back here next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday.